We're creating conservationists for the future in the Missouri State Park Youth Corps, an idea I hatched back in January. Using the Civilian Conservation Corps as our model, this summer we put nearly 1,000 kids to work in our parks and historic sites from one part of our state to another, from Boone County to the Boot Heel. Some of these kids had never set foot in a state park before. We're paying them fair wages, teaching them job skills, and giving them a new appreciation for the outdoors. Much like the CCC 70 years ago, these young folks have worked hard. They've built and rebuilt trails, re-roofed buildings, completed landscaping projects, led tours, helped with archaeological digs, taught classes, and on and on and on. Our parks and our youth are better for this experience. I'm pleased to announce that we'll be able to continue this program next summer with the help of the Missouri Division of Workforce Development. It will be a legacy for our state, not a one-time deal. But these young people have surpassed all of our expectations. And quite frankly, in visiting with them as the summer went on, you almost saw them grow up right in front of you. Last night, Santa Fe, New Mexico, the National Association of State Parks Directors presented its highest honor, the President's Award, to the Missouri State Parks Youth Corps as the outstanding parks program in America this year. Bill Bryan would be with us tonight, but the fishing is really good out there. He's decided to take an extra day and a half to make sure that he takes the award with him out to go trout fishing. I'm hopeful to get it sometime before bow season starts. But in presenting this honor, the park directors called our Corps a workforce for Missouri State Parks and historic sites unprecedented since work by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s. At the presentation ceremony last night in Santa Fe, our Parks Director, Bill Bryan, debuted a video of the work done by them this summer that was shot, edited, produced, and directed by our Youth Park Corps kids. Every state park director in the nation got a copy of our video, as well as others around the country are going to get. And it wouldn't surprise me if this Missouri innovation went national. That is the future of conservation. You heard that we lost one of our CCC gems of our park system last week when the dining lodge at Camp Pin Oak was completely destroyed by fire. Like all of our CCC buildings, it was listed at the National Register of Historic Places. One way or another, we're going to find the money to rebuild that lodge and preserve that piece of conservation, that piece of history for future generations to enjoy. And you know what? If we don't find enough money between now and next summer, we may just have the State Park Youth Corps build it next summer if we got it. That's the future of conservation. We recently marked the reversal of an even more catastrophic loss to our state park system. In May, after 4 years of hard labor, we celebrated the rebirth of Johnson Shut-In State Parks. 1 billion years of water flowing over rock carved in the shut-ins. A man-made disaster. The collapse of the Tom Sauk Reservoir in the winter of 2005 destroyed it in minutes. Our new park is a living monument to the will and grit, the blood and sweat of hundreds of conservationists, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, state workers and local volunteers, builders and biologists, scuba divers and dump truck drivers. Those folks literally rolled away boulders, dug that park out of the muck and mud, and brought it back to life. The shut-ins won't ever be exactly the same. We can't replace it exactly, but we're helping it heal. That is the future of conservation. This summer in Rocheport, we celebrated the 20th anniversary of the Katy Trail. At 225 miles, the Katy is the longest rail trail in the nation, and we're in the process of adding 7 more miles to it from St. Charles to Mawkins and building it out from Kansas City eastward. in not so long, you'll be able to go from Kansas City to St. Louis all the way across our state on that trail. Development of the trail began with a gift of $2.2 million from the late Ted Jones and his widow Pat, who was there to help us mark that historic milestone. This year we also saved the Boonville Bridge, which someday will be a pedestrian link to the Katy Trail. That is the future of conservation. A few months ago, I hired the best travel writer in America, Tom Eulenbrock. He used to work for the Post-Dispatch. Gave him a notebook, a paddle. He has his own camera. Set him loose in his kayak and his boots to travel our state. Tom's been floating, hiking, camping, and biking all year, helping promote tourism and spread the word about all our parks and historic sites have to offer. He's been to our parks, and each week now writes, at no cost to the public, a piece about each one of those parks. Nearly 50 newspapers, from Cape to Kennett to Jeff City to Joplin, have signed up to publish Tom's superb state park stories and photographs, which are also part of our state website. That is the future of conservation. In just a few days, it'll be bow season again. And sometime, maybe not on the first day, I plan to be out there with some folks in this room. Last year during Gud season, I've told the story a number of times, I shot a deer in Clark County, but harvested one in Pulaski County. So, long tracking of but we managed to donate the meat to share the harvest and absorb the mockery 365 days in a row. Last year, Missouri hunters processed and shared the venison from 8,400 deer, which was distributed to food banks and needy Missouri families around the state. This year, with the help of some of the folks in this room and all of us working together, we will share the harvest of 10,000 deer. Yeah. Think of where that protein goes. No one had a growing boy living in poverty somewhere has more to eat than macaroni and surplus government cheese. Knowing that he can get a healthy source of protein in his diet thanks to our hunters' generosity and the sharp aim, that should make us all feel real good. That is the future of conservation. By hunting season next year, we'll have reintroduced elk in Missouri. It's a controversial topic, but as the members of this federation know so well, no gains are ever made without a tussle. We've been working closely with our state veterinarian, our park superintendents, Bob Zemer and others. The commission's leadership is tremendously appreciated. We've laid out the clear parameters for the reintroduction of this native species, and in my view, we cover the concerns. Now, some folks are going to try to stop this effort. In fact, they're trying to stop it now, arguing that elk are so much bigger than deer, and look how much damage a deer can do to a car. I find it interesting that those people doing that haven't been talking about how much larger tractors have gotten over that period of time. It doesn't seem to me they've tried to stop that. If I'm especially motivated, it's because my hunting friend David Murphy is really all in on elk. With his eyesight the way it is, he needs something bigger to hit. And I think between him and I, even one of us can hit one of those. Now, the Conservation Commission will be voting on this in a few weeks, and I'm certainly not here to lobby them or order them. We appreciate their leadership, and I'm confident they'll make the right call. That is the future of conservation. We have so many reasons to be hopeful about the future of conservation because, we're on the right path. It's a long path with endless loops and branches, spurs and switchbacks. but it always leads us back to the source, nature itself. In childhood, nature gently awakens our sense of wonder. In adulthood, nature instills in us a sense of place and time, bedrock and current, immutable and ever-changing. In old age, nature bestows a sense of continuity, a consolation for our intimations of mortality. In the march of geologic time, we can't know what will become of our wetlands and our wild places, our clear Ozark streams and the critters that call them home. But that will not stop us from defending them today. 1 billion years from now, when our bones are locked in the sands of time and our words are lost on the wind, who knows what will be left of the plants and animals, the hills and valleys that shaped our character as much as any parent ever could. But I know this: with vision and action, we can change history. 75 years, one lifetime. Our days are brief, our charge eternal. That is the future of conservation. Thank you, and God bless.